Hi everyone! Today we are going to look at 9 requirements that you may want to look at when choosing your portable, pocketable and affordable fill light. Fill lights are very useful to lighten shadows or darkness when shooting pictures or videos on the go. And there are really plenty of brands that produce this type of lights. Something like Newer, Moman, Ulanzi, Veltrox, Godax, Small Rig, and also higher quality and higher price like Aperture, Colbor, and so really a lot of models. And how to choose from them? So I thought it was useful to provide some tips on what to look at and also some tips on how to interpret some specifications that sometimes are a bit misleading. And also we will look at one of the best quality price mix of this fill light, that is the Moman ML8A-RC, a long name, that I think is a recommended model. So we will look how that matches all our requirements. So let's start. Okay, so just a few words about fill light. You can see in these pictures how the fill light can really improve the quality of your image with and without the fill light, but also they are very useful if you are shooting in a dark environment. And also in videos it's useful to add some color lights to improve the quality, the coolness of your video. Just for example, if you look here behind me, you will see a green light is the Moman model we will look at later on. So just a curiosity to start, Moman was founded in 2017 as a tripod accessories company, and then 2 years later extended its business to video light. So let's start with the first requirement. You have to look the most important, and it is the types of light that the model provides. Typically there are 3 types of light. One is white light, white with different color temperature. Technically, what does it mean? It means that white is a concept that is not so precise, in the sense that there is the white light of the sun when you are outside, but when you go inside, for example, and you light up your old bulb, incandescent bulbs, you have a different light, a warmer light. Or if you are in the shadow, a cooler light with a bluish tone. So the color of the white light is called the color temperature. The color temperature is measured in Kelvin degrees, that is a number. About 5,000, 6,000 degrees is the color temperature of the sunlight in the open air. The color temperature of a bulb lamp is about 3,000, 4,000 kelvins. If you are in the shadow, you can have a higher color temperature like 7 or 8 or even more Kelvin. So with the Kelvin temperature, you measure how the white light is warmer or cooler. All these type of lights, fill lights, provides a way to adjust the color temperature, and there is a range from about 3,000 to 6,000, 7 or more thousand, depends on the models. And in our Moman, here you can see our Moman model, the color temperature can be set from 2,500 up to 9,000. This is a very wide range, because typically the other lamp start from 3,200 up to 6,500. So this is a very good range. First positive note on this model. The second type of light is the color light. So not just white light for lighting shadows typically, but color light if you want to add some effect. And in that case it is called RGB light. RGB stands for red, green and blue, because maybe, as you may know, every color can be represented by a combination of red light, green light and blue light. So RGB lights are the color light. Sometimes they are called HSL, hue, saturation and lightness. That is an equivalent way of expressing a color. There are mathematical formulas that can convert from HSL to RGB and vice versa. You will get different type of colors. Every type of color can be selected. The third type of lights are effects, and not all the fill lights, all the portable lights provide this type of effects. They are typically like fire or ambulance, police or fireworks or strobe, and this can be useful if you want to have some special effects in your movie. Let's look at these three types of lights, because this Moman model provides all three types of lights in our model. Let's turn it on. You will see here that there is a button on top to turn the light on. On the back there is a small LCD where you can read the settings you are using. There are two knobs on the side. One is to control the color temperature or the effect, and the other to control the brightness. Okay, so let's start with the first mode, that is the white light. Now we are looking at 15% of brightness with 6500 Kelvin degrees. So it's the typical sunlight. No, I'm lightening my face. Okay, so you can see the effect. If I change the color temperature and I go to a warmer light, you see now I am at 2500 Kelvin. You see, much more warm. If I change in the other direction, I'm going to change into a bluish light, and in fact now 7500 more Kelvin. Now it's 9000 Kelvin, so the bluish, the cooler light that can be set. Now we are just at 11% of brightness, because otherwise the effect is not good in the videos, but you can turn the brightness much higher. You can see here the light. Now I become dark. Okay, now let's look at the second way of lighting, that is the RGB. Now I put the green light. Okay, I can change the RGB setting, and you see we are going to yellow, okay, orange, dark orange, then we will get pink, and so on, any color you want. The third way of working is the effect. For example, here we have a so-called party effect, when the color is changing continuously. Okay, then we have fireworks, then we have bulb, not very working bulb. Okay, or we have the police. Okay, lightning. Okay, and so on. Okay, of course the usage of these effects depends on the type of video you do. Maybe if you blog news reviews, maybe you don't need to have an ambulance or a police car passing by. The second requirement is the power that is provided with the lights. All the lights, or the beats lights, they are typical LED lights. They range from 4 or 5 watt to 10, small number typically, since they are small devices. Of course, the more power you have, the better, because you can stay more far from the subject and be able to lighten it as well. In our Moman model, the power is 8. That is a very good value. Just a tip: do not expect to have the same power with the different modes, because typically the specifications are related to the white light, not to the color. So for example, 8 watt for the white light are typically much less for just one color. This is because to produce the white light, more LEDs light up, while for a specific color just some of the beads lit up, and so the power of light is less. The third requirement is the color fidelity. There is a parameter that is called CRI, that is color rendering index, that is a measure of how the white light, this is just for the white light, not for the color light, is faithful. That means does not alter the colors that are lit by your light. No? How lightening the scene, you are not modifying the tones of the colors. This is a number that range from 0 to 100%. 100% CRI means perfect white light. Good values are above, let's say, 90, and you will find that all these models are advertised at having a very high CRI. Typically value is 90, 95, and even this Moman is advertising at 98 CRI. That is really very high value. But there's a trick in the sense that this value is the maximum value that can be reached by the light, but there's no guarantee that you can achieve the same level of quality with all the color temperature that light provides. And typically in the extreme, so with a very warm light or very cold light, the color rendering index is lower. So that's something to keep in mind. No brand provides the curve, so all the values for all the range of a color temperature. The fourth requirement is battery life. This is very important because if you are on the go, you don't want to remain with your light without any power. Be careful because the battery life is expressed with different numbers, and if you want to compare different models, you have to compare at the same conditions. So you have to look at what is the battery life at the maximum power. This is typically a value ranging from 1 hour to 2 hours. The Moman lasts 2 hours and 5 minutes. That is a very good value for maximum power. Quite often the maximum battery life are expressed with the brightness at 5%, and of course is much longer, but it's not fair. About power and battery life, some models, very few models actually, also can be used as a power bank, and this Moman has these features. That's why I think it's one of the best model you can buy. So you can use it, you can charge it, use as a light, and you can also use it as a power bank to recharge, for example, your phone on the go. Very useful. To measure the power of the battery, you can look at the milliamperes that are in the specification. For example, this Moman has 5,000 milliamperes as power, and it's a very good value for the size. The sixth characteristic is the possibility to attach other devices to the light, or to attach the light to a camera or a video camera. And in the case of the Moman, we have even 3 points to attach other devices. One is on the bottom for a screw. You can use it with an adapter to mount on a camera, for example, very handy for shooting in dark environments. The other is on the side, that is used for mounting the light in a vertical way. Okay. And we have a third one on top, this classic cold shoe. So you can, for example, mount a little microphone or a little speed light flash on top of it. So really 3 attachment is something that is rare in this type of devices. The seventh characteristic is if with the light there is also a diffuser. In the case of Moman, a diffuser is provided. Here you can see it. It's a silicon diffuser that can be mounted very easily on the light. and the diffuser is useful to diffuse the light, and so the effect of the light is less harsh, is more soft. In fact, with the diffuser you see less the single points of light, and the light is more soft, as you can see here. Okay, the eighth characteristic is the possibility to control the light remotely. Remotely means either with a wired remote control, but it's not that comfortable, or via an app. Just a few of these lamps support an app. This Moman model supports an app. You can download it from the Play Store for Android or Apple Store. It's not from Moman, it's from Colbor. Colbor has a partnership with Moman. You can download the app, and you can then tune every adjustment of the light, so the color temperature, the brightness, the effect, the colors, when you are using the color lights, everything. Also turn it off. You just cannot turn it on again if you turn it off. Just remember that. Having the possibility to remote control via Bluetooth is a very handy feature you can consider. The ninth and last characteristics to look at are the physical characteristics. So the size, the physical size, if you can slide in your pocket, is very handy, and the build quality. The Moman we are looking at is of very solid plastic, so it gives an impression of solidity, and the weight of the Moman is 187 grams. Of course, the price is also important. We are referring to affordable fill lights, so they cost less than 100 dollars. In the case of this Moman, the cost is about $60 euros, and that is, I think, is a very good price. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, there are other portable lights that are higher quality, and they cost more, of course. Okay, so just to conclude this video, we have seen 9 characteristics, 9 requirements that you may look at when choosing your fill light. The fill lights are a very, very useful device that can improve the quality of your pics and the quality of your videos. If you find a model that matches all the 9 requirements, I think it's one to buy. And in this Moman ML8A-RC is a recommended model. I've not been paid by Moman to give good recommendations, so it's just my personal opinion. You can also find the links of the Amazon offer in the description, and if this video has been useful for you, I'm happy if you subscribe to the channel, and see you soon.